Live from our Kwacha studios, this is the latest edition of MBC News. You're with me, Obile Kaisa. The headlines. First Lady Madam Monica Chakwera calls on the youth in the country to spearhead innovations that can help in the fight against tuberculosis. Government says the just introduced Boma Likutinji program is a platform aimed at keeping Malawians updated on various programs being implemented. And Malawian reggae and dancehall artists set to perform in Jamaica's Reggae Month this February. And now the news in detail. First Lady Madam Monica Chakwera has called on youth in the country to spearhead innovations that can help in the fight against tuberculosis. The First Lady made the call in Lilongwe during a high-level multi-sector engagement on ending tuberculosis by the year 2030. She commended some innovations that are being invested by young people in the country and stressed the importance of utilizing such in creating solutions in the TB fight. Madam Chakwera has since called for increased domestic funding towards programs aimed at eliminating TB. Beatrice Mwape reports.
Funding was the main issue that took center stage at the high-level stakeholder engagement, which brought together key stakeholders from the media, education and private sector. The aim was to discuss how they can join efforts in advocacy and raise awareness on TB. According to the Ministry of Health, 65% of the country's total health expenditure is sourced from international partners. In her remarks, Madam Monica Chakwera said there is need for the country to support and invest in such programs domestically to ensure sustainability. The First Lady has since stressed the need for collaboration and increased information dissemination for the country to eliminate tuberculosis by 2030.
I feel my call for increased domestic financial support and resources to scale up our TB programs. Today we stand at a pivotal moment in our nation's fight against TB. By working together across sectors and with renewed commitment, we can achieve the goal of ending TB by 2030.
Deputy Minister of Health Noah Shimpeni said the country has put in place measures to increase funding. He said these include streamlining in-service training, integrating supply chains, strategic partnership, enhancing private sector engagement, as well as using national IDs to ensure the informal sector contributes to the country's health financing.
This initiative aims to expand the contributor base by including those currently outside the formal system, with appropriate exemptions for the poorest and most vulnerable. Furthermore, this system will help address the issue of foreign nationals accessing free healthcare services in Malawi.
Speaking on behalf of TB civil society organizations, Executive Director for Coalition of Women Living with HIV/AIDS, Edna Tembo, said addressing HIV needs intervention in TB and there is need for investments in CSOs and community-based organizations to help in raising awareness. She emphasized the need for local resource mobilization, saying it is critical in sustaining the gains made so far.
It is very, very important. We need really to stand up and make sure that we are rethinking in the sustainable way, and not only when crises come, but we have to be resilient and also making sure that we are engaging in resource mobilization and maintaining those resources.
The event was organized by the Office of the First Lady in collaboration with the Stop TB Partnership, the Ministry of Health, FACT and the Paradiso TB Patient Trust. The engagement has been held under the theme Amplifying Voices to End TB in Malawi. Beatrice Mwape, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Minister of Information Moses Kunkuyu says the just introduced Boma Likutinji program is a platform aimed at keeping Malawians updated on various programs being implemented to improve their living conditions. Kunkuyu made the remarks last night in Lilongwe during the first edition where four ministers, Sam Kawale, Minister of Agriculture, Sosten Gwengo of Trade and Industry, Vera Kantukule of Tourism, and Minister of Labour, Vitumbiko Mumba, all discussed various issues of national importance. Isaac Jali followed the proceedings and has a report.
On the first ever edition of Boma Likutinji, 4 ministers took turns addressing various issues of national importance. Minister of Trade and Industry, Sosten Gwengwe, explained that the recent tour to various enterprises won to enforce fairness in the industry, especially on commodity prices and standards of goods, to ensure Malawians are protected from unfair trade practices. Gwengwe emphasized that government will not watch Malawians being exploited by some dishonest traders or companies. Gwengwe went on to caution the Malawi Bureau of Standards to remain diligent in its operations, saying findings of the recent tour to various business enterprises exposed some slowness on the part of Malawi Bureau of Standards. Also taking his turn, Minister of Agriculture Sam Kawale said the Mega Farms initiative is well on track, with more than 2,000 farmers enlisted, while also roping in private companies to participate. He said hundreds of hectares of land has been secured, where crops such as wheat and maize are under cultivation. Commenting on the Affordable Inputs Program AIP, Kawale said despite forex challenges encountered by suppliers earlier on, the situation had improved some weeks ago. Hence, fertilizer is now being distributed to various parts of Malawi. He cited 148 trucks all loaded with fertilizer that have been deployed to various parts of the country. Sam Kawale went on to say that beside the Affordable Inputs Program AIP, some farmers have accessed low-cost input loans from the National Economic Empowerment Fund NEF, which had set aside 150 billion kwacha to help boost agricultural productivity. He also said projections indicate that Malawi will have good yields this season, 20% more than the previous season. On tourism, Minister responsible Vera Kantugule disclosed various plans to further boost tourism in the country, among them introducing various incentives for those in the hospitality industry. She also disclosed plans to introduce flights to Karonga to ease tourists' access to places such as Nyika National Park, thereby generating more forex. For his part, Minister of Labour Vitumbiko Mumba said his recent tour to various companies and business enterprises were meant to hear first-hand concerns of workers and to ensure workers are protected through guaranteed safety and that their minimum wages are adhered to. Mumba also assured all workers in the country that government will endeavor to ensure the work environment is conducive and workers are protected from various forms of investor malpractices. Minister of Information Moses Kunkuyu was moderator at the first ever program of Boma Likutinji, and he says the first edition has been a success.
Boma Likutinji is to ensure that we create a platform under the Ministry of Information whose mandate is to ensure that all people, the nation, is well informed at all times, and an extension to the traditional press conferences that we do have, where only the media are given the opportunity to ask questions and interact with the government through ministers or other players in government. This time around, we want to bring the government closer to the people at home, where they can also participate. One, they can demand who they want to face, which minister they want to ask questions, and what questions they want to ask, and also give the opportunity to the ministers to explain or respond to the questions that people are giving. So it's in line with the mandate of the Ministry of Information and Digitalization, the Central Office of Information to be specific, that we displace information to the nation to make sure that we have a well-informed citizenry, as we say that a well-informed citizenry makes informed decisions.
Isaac Jali, MBC, Lilongwe.
The Parliamentary Committee on Social and Community Affairs has commended Dr. Chakwera's administration for empowering the youth through the commercial agriculture sector, a development they say is crucial in fostering economic development. Jackson Sichali reports.
The parliamentarians started by touring the fish ponds established by Wamaka Youth Farmers Cooperative, which is part of their effort to diversify income through fish farming. This initiative caught the attention of NICOM, which granted the cooperative 6 million kwacha to support increased fish production. Speaking after touring the fish ponds, chairperson for Parliamentary Committee on Social and Community Affairs, Saveo Kafafa, emphasized the importance of government's support in promoting economic recovery. He noted that such initiatives will help many youth achieve financial independence. Kafafa further advised the youth in the country to utilize this opportunity to become productive citizens.
But so far they start with the 100 million. We are so impressed, and if we would have started this 10 years ago, Malawi could no longer be the same as a nation, because that's the first time that the Malawi government, through this current regime of Dr. Lazarus Makathi Chakwera, has been able to initiate Malawian government to be giving grants to its own initiatives in this country. So that's the change of mindset, that we shouldn't just say NGOs or youth organizations have to be led by foreign governments, which sometimes have got other motives when they are dealing with the youth. But this is purely a Malawian concept. It's being implemented by the Malawian government, but the 100 million has shown that because this was more of a pilot, and we hope if we put more money and more initiatives into this idea, then Malawian youth will really develop.
Executive Director for the National Youth Council of Malawi, Rex Chapota, urged the young farmers who have received the grant to effectively use the funds for increased fish production.
That's why I want to thank His Excellency the President, Dr. Chakwera, because it is under his leadership we are seeing a change of direction in terms of the youth agenda, because empowering the National Youth Council of Malawi to empower youth groups shows that we want to see our young people not just being left alone, not just being used for other things that are not good for the nation, but as part of nation building and peace in this nation, young people ought to be involved in things that are productive.
Executive Director for Wamaka Youth Farmers Cooperative, Francis Chirambo, expressed gratitude for the grant and stressed the importance of value addition in creating jobs for the youth and promoting better health outcomes.
With the funding from National Youth Council of Malawi, we are going to renovate the extra 6. Obviously, that means we'll increase production from that amount to about 6.6 metric tons.
Wamaka Youth Farmers Cooperative currently operates 7 fish ponds, producing 3.4 metric tons of fish annually, and with the new funding, the club is expected to increase fish production up to 12.6 metric tons annually. Jackson Zizali, MBC News, Mzuzu.
The Ministry of Labour has given Haoli, a plastic shoes manufacturer, 7 days to address labour laws violation concerns at the company. Minister responsible, Engineer Vitumbiko Mumba, says if Haoli fails to meet the labour standards within 7 days, the ministry will close the company. Margaret Mapando with the details.
During a night inspection visit, Mumba noted several violations, including workers working 12 hours a day instead of the standard 8 hours. He also observed that workers are not given time to rest and are not compensated when they get injured during work. Furthermore, it was discovered that some workers at the factory also work as security personnel, as the company owner's residence is situated within the same compound. Engineer Mumba also expressed disappointment that fellow Malawians are often involved in the oppression of fellow Malawians. He cited the example of 4 workers in higher positions at Haoli who have reportedly been pocketing part of payment made for the laborers.
I've always said that privileged slaves are the most vicious enemy than the slave masters themselves. We are at the forefront of victimizing our friends, like here, the supervisors. They cheat their fellow Malawians by underpaying them. They get all the money from the employer, but they underpay fellow Malawians, and they're in the forefront of violating labor laws. And again, the so-called investor here, as far as I'm concerned, and for us, I've seen, they don't have an HR manager or HR officer. They don't have a safety and health officer here. That's why some people get injured, no compensation, no assistance. So there are all those problems because they're trying to minimize costs. At the end of the day, they are putting the lives of Malawians at risk. The
Ministry of Labour has since pledged to continue conducting regular labour inspections to ensure rights of vulnerable Malawians are protected. Margaret Mapando, MBC News, Lilongwe.
This is MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. First Lady Madam Monica Chakwera calls on the youth in the country to spearhead innovations that can help in the fight against tuberculosis. Government says the just introduced Bomba Likutinji program is a platform aimed at keeping Malawians updated on various programs being implemented. And Malawian reggae and dancehall artists set to perform at Jamaica's Reggae Month this February. Minister of Higher Education Jessica Bwira has assured the Mzuzu University community that the magnificent Mzuzu University Library will be completed by August this year. The minister made the remarks after visiting the institution to appreciate the progress the university is registering in improving the quality of higher education at the institution. Hassan Piri reports.
The minister expressed her satisfaction with the vision that the school has to grow vertically and horizontally, a development she says is in tandem with President Chakwera's vision for higher education. She applauded the plans by the institution to construct an 810-bed capacity hostel, African Center of Excellence, construction of a new facility at Choma, magnificent library, and strides made at Dunduzu campus as some of the activities that champion the improvement of higher quality education at the facility.
Mzuni is really in tandem with the Malawi 2063. Looking at their values, looking at what they've attained, you can actually see that Dr. Chakwera is truly advancing the higher education sector. Because you could see in the presentation that they said, oh, this was done by, it actually launched by the, I think I was even touched by one of the buildings that came here because of the HE's intervention, personal intervention, going to Germany, making sure that he engages people so that higher education can go far.
The minister also highlighted the progress being made on the new higher education bill, saying, come next sitting of parliament, it will be tabled and passed into law.
In this bill, there is a way to harmonize the way we are running. At the moment, almost every institution has its own act. We can't advance when everybody has got their own Bible that they're operating from. So the issues that are there are harmonization. The other thing that's in the bill is a commitment to deal with quality issues, to make sure that quality across the universities. When someone gets a degree in the higher learning institutions, in a private university, or in a degree in Mubas, a degree in Unima, a degree must be a degree.
Mzuzu University Vice Chancellor Professor Wells Singini hailed the new Minister of Higher Education for her passion and determination to transform university education in the country.
It's exciting for us as an institution of higher learning, and also considering that for the first time now, we have a minister responsible for the sector. So it's an excitement for us, and we know that now moving forward, matters of higher education will have recognition.
Officials at Mzuzu University say they intend to increase the number of students that have access to tertiary education at the facility from the current.
The Malawi Congress Party MCP Regional Chairman for North-South Region, Joseph Chavula, has advised aspirants for the parliamentary and council positions in the upcoming MCP primary elections to focus on issue-based campaigns rather than engaging in defamatory politics. Chavula made the remarks in Mzuzu at the MCP regional offices, where he announced that the MCP primary elections are scheduled to take place between mid-February and mid-April. He explains.
We want a free and fair primary elections. And by that, we also want to make sure that there is no the language that would, instigate somebody, the language that would, provoke someone and then can incite some kind of violence. That is what we do not want in Malawi Congress Party, because our president, Dr. Lazarus Makathi Chakwera, believes in peace, believes in unity, and believes in oneness. So in that's why we do not want the politics of castigation. And this is the message from Dr. Lazarus Makathi Chakwera, our president, your president, that we do not want violence. So that's the message that I had, to make sure that we clear the playing field and that we do the campaign knowing that we are just one family. The dates for primary elections are out, and this is the message that I came with from the National Executive Committee, which met this month of January, that constituencies where there is a sitting MPs, primary elections will take place from mid-April. And those constituencies that do not have sitting MPs from Malawi Congress Party, we are conducting primary elections from mid-February. So that is also another communication that I came with from National Executive Committee, so that our candidates must be ready, start talking to delegates to make sure that they can convince them and they can win and stand on the Malawi Congress Party ticket come general elections.
We are ready for the primary elections because we have set the rules and regulations that the aspirants must follow during these primary elections. For example, when we are in our meeting, we have told them that as they go out to campaign, especially where we have more than 2 candidates, they should make sure that they don't castigate each other. So I hope they will follow what we have told them.
Communities in Tiolo have been implored to take care of trees to mitigate effects of climate change, such as natural disasters, which have hit the country hard in recent years. District Commissioner for Tiolo, Hudson Kupanga, made the appeal during the launch of the 2024-2025 district deforestry season at Nankolombo Primary School ground in the area of Traditional Authority in Chilamwera. Charles Chindongo has more in this report, read in our studios by Amin Musa.
Tiolo is one of the southern region districts that have been hit hard by climate-induced disasters. Acting Director for Environment and Natural Resources for Tiolo, Miriam Yona, says the call to restore degraded land seeks to instill a sense of ownership amongst the local community. Taking his turn, District Commissioner for Tiolo, Hudson Kupanga, disclosed plans to plant at least 1 million tree seedlings during this year's district forestry season.
What has been happening in the past is that when we do this exercise of planting trees, some people will come and uproot the trees for no apparent reason. So we are just trying to ask them not to do this again to this year's plantation of trees, because it's degrading, it's disheartening, it's keeping one foot behind towards the initiatives which we are taking as a council. So we have also asked the chiefs to tell the people that they should actually condone this behavior. The chiefs are the custodians of our culture, and they should condone this behavior of uprooting trees when they have been planted by the council.
Speaking earlier, Chairperson for Tiolo District Council, Charles Bowman, said authorities in the district are working closely with chiefs to enforce bylaws that will help prevent further damage to the environment.
Yes, we have agreed with chiefs and other relative authorities that we need to support trees by using bylaws, because without bylaws, everything will be bad. So we are using bylaws to support trees everywhere in this district.
The current National Forestry season runs from 15th December 2024 to 15th April 2025, with a target to plant 40 million tree seedlings.
In entertainment news, 4 Malawian reggae and dancehall artists are set to perform in Jamaica during Jamaica's Reggae Month this February. This follows Minister of Labour Vitumbiko Mumba's personal initiative to strengthen artistic ties between Malawi and Jamaica. The artists are Anne Matumbi, also known as Nyakwawa, Born Africa, Don Taz and Blasto. They are expected to perform on February 12 in Montego Bay and February 16 in Ocho Rios, alongside some of Jamaica's most celebrated reggae icons. Yamikan Makanga has compiled this report.
In early January this year, Minister of Labour, Engineer Vitumbiko Mumba, went on a private visit to Jamaica, where he was accompanied by his wife, reggae dancehall artist Anne Matumbi, and fellow musician Born African. It was this trip that led to the invitation of the 4 reggae dancehall artists who are now set to perform at one of the biggest reggae festivals in Jamaica, the Jamaica Reggae Month. Speaking to MBC as the artists are fine-tuning ahead of the festival, Mumba expressed confidence that this opportunity will open doors for other Malawian artists on the international stage.
Myself, Anne Matumbi and Born African were in Jamaica, and we met the president of our music industry, and we were given an opportunity that in this month of February they have got what they call Reggae Month. So they said we can bring our artists just to showcase our talent in Jamaica and at least show them that we are capable of doing in terms of reggae. So we are given 4 slots. We hope to have more. Wanted some ladies that is in the group, but we only got 4 slots. We believe that they'll make nice connections that side, and there will be proper collaboration. I believe that let's see what happens at the end of the day.
Expressing the artist's readiness to fly the country's flag high, Anne Matumbi stressed that the initiative will foster global collaborations.
We are going to do something great. We are going to put Malawi on map. We are going to make Malawi proud, and we want to sell or to brighten our nation, so that, our country, so that people out there should also know that there is a country, a landlocked country, as they called it in Jamaica. They said Malawi is a landlocked country, and we want to promote it because we also know how to pray and how to do reggae music. So we are going to put Malawi's flag on top.
3 weeks ago, the minister, together with Anne Matumbi and Born African, visited Cove in Jamaica, where they attended Buju Banton's intimate concert at his plantation. The trip accorded the minister a chance to explore potential collaborations between Malawian and Jamaican artists. Yamigani Makanga, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Gospel musician Lloyd Phiri will in April this year celebrate 25 years in the music industry. Gospel musicians in the country have since organized a show to celebrate his contribution to the industry. Lloyd Phiri, who has released over 130 songs and 9 albums, has commended the gesture and urged the public and corporate world to show support to musicians while still alive. Phiri speaks to Emmanuel Chikonso.
It's a tendency in Africa that we talk about the greatness of a particular person because he's gone, he's died, and we are used to it, to say, let's wait for that particular person. When he dies, we'll hear good news about him. So when he's alive, like I'm here, I'm alive, I'm not sick. Maybe many of the viewers were expecting that I'll be telling them I'm sick, I need help. No, this time it's a different story. I feel so great, I feel so proud, I feel so humbled. When I'm home, I wake up at the night, I think about this event, I say, wow, so people can celebrate someone who is alive and healthy like me. So it's a special thing. I pray that this shouldn't be the end. It should be the beginning. And if possible, I plead with you all Malawians as well as my fellow musicians out there that this should be the beginning of a new chapter. We should be doing this. It should be a tendency. Let us celebrate one another's achievements whilst we are alive.
And that's it for MBC News this afternoon. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. First Lady Madam Monica Chakwera calls on the youth in the country to spearhead innovations that can help in the fight against tuberculosis. Government says the just introduced Bomba Likutinji program is a platform aimed at keeping Malawians updated on various programs being implemented. And Malawian reggae and dancehall artists set to perform at Jamaica's Reggae Month this February. Keep up to date with all our news on MBC digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen, or get the latest news by subscribing to SMS services by dialing *364#. You have been with me, Opile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.